good, GGB fam? We're here with week 4 recap, and this time I have a co-caster from Third Eye, 2-time back-to-back Ursi Day champion. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Bixie. I play Pocket for Third Eye. Glad to be here.
All right, let's start with let's start with the reports, I guess. So I guess we got. This is not scripted, but we're starting with my team. I guess we're starting with Froggy X Red versus Pocket Chef.
Favoritism, bro.
Okay, so I guess the first thing I see is that kind of Froggy X got a good lead, basically, right? Rampardos versus Choreo Magnezone.
Yep.
And then it was pretty close, obviously 10-7. I didn't actually watch this game, so crazy, I know, but there's a stream from Froggy X, obviously, and I think what my team was, they weren't sure if they should send in Charizard with repeat. They took like a while before they decided. I think not a while, but they weren't sure. I think that's something that I got from my teammates is that they kind of sent in they sent in the wrong deck. They just weren't sure if they should have sent in repeat so early. That was basically.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Like maybe maybe could have sent the Oricorio instead of the Charizard. Yes.
Yeah, that is what they thought because they had the second Oricorio Magnezone. They thought maybe they should have sent that instead.
I mean, there is an argument to be made for it. Like, what if they have what if Froggy X has like another Solgaleo at the back? So like maybe you only have like one Magnezone left. I mean Oricorio left. So there is an argument to be made to use the Charizard. Hope it's still a good matchup. It's not as one-sided as Oricorio.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, I can see the thought process.
Yeah, and then I guess for the repeats, I guess both teams only use one of the repeats, and I mean they just repeated Dark Tina versus Silvari Rampardos, makes sense, and then we repeated Silvally Rampardos versus Charizard Silvally. I guess I think both of those repeats are kind of valid, right?
Yeah, it's just that their Charizard just kind of ran away with the game at the end.
Yeah, seems like it.
Which it beat one Buzzwole, one Ori, and one Rampardos. Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, I mean Charizard is I think it's a weird deck. Like it can streak, but sometimes it just falls flat.
Alright, it's Tier Baguette versus Galactic, which this was Galactic's first win. This was Galactic's first win.
Yep.
And it was streamed by twice. But yeah, 8-10. What I see is just two decks streaking, right? Like they streaked.
Yeah. So...
And then Tier Baguette streaked and almost brought it back. And then Charizard kind of closed it out again.
Yeah. They streaked with Zeraora first, and then Zeraora being able to beat Rampardos and taking the repeat from the Rampardos as well is kind of quite big. Huge. I think that's like not the best matchup, but yeah, it happens. And then the Buzzwole went like 5-1.
Yeah.
Beat Charizard and Solgaleo and take 2 repeat. Holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, the Buzzwole actually went crazy. It took 2 repeats out of them, and then I think. Go ahead.
Then Charizard, and then but Tier Baguette sending the Blacephalon into Silvalizard. I'm not too sure about that. I don't really know that matchup well, but I don't know if there's like a better deck to send in, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. I guess it depends on his.
Cause at that point you have the Blacephalon player and that last player which has Rampardos. Maybe you could have sent the Rampardos. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you
did. It's still kind of 50-50. It's still kind of 50-50, but I don't know. I don't really know that the Blissifalon Zard matchup. Yeah, but it ended up costing them the match, maybe.
Yeah, they didn't waste. I'm not sure. Maybe what his second pair wasn't maybe good into Zard, but then I'm thinking maybe you sent in Teg first, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that could have been what cost him the game, the Bisapalon.
For sure.
But honestly, this does seem like a good war. Like in general, it was kind of close, back and forth. So
I think in general, like most wars in this format are kind of close. Are like usually quite close. It's just a matter of like whether like sometimes your counter doesn't work, and then you have to repeat, and then the lead gets extended. Yeah.
Or sometimes you just we will see other wars, but sometimes that happens. Okay, let's go. Okay, Team A versus Team Fuji. Okay, so this was a civil war, I guess. That was kind of
bro. Why was this not streamed, man?
Yeah, why was
this was like the biggest match of the week.
Yeah, and it was pretty high. And it was like it came down to 9-10 as well. Yeah, why wasn't this streamed? This was
exactly.
Not only the highlight game, and it was close. And yeah, man, I think this week Charizard is just closing out these wars.
Yeah, adding the Silvally kind of like made the deck. I mean, obviously it made the deck not weak to Oricorio, and then it made the deck like better going second. Because usually what you want to do, like as the pure Charizard, you want to go like first and then goes Candy and then Stoke the next turn, right? But now that you add the Silvally into it, you can go. You're just as good going second as going first. Like you can go, if you're going second and then you open Type Null, you can just go for the Type Null line and you don't really lose out on the tempo.
Yeah. And I think this was actually kind of a comeback from Team Fuji, because it was like 9-7 at one point, and I was like, okay, I think Team A wins this. And then when I saw the battle result, I was like, oh shit, 10-9. And yeah, I guess maybe Ori Magnezone wasn't the answer into Charizard.
Yeah.
I don't know. But maybe they didn't have anything else. I'm not sure.
But it is quite interesting that both of these, Team A more in particular, like they just only brought Oricorio Magnezone as the Ori deck instead of like, I think we've seen other teams bring like, for example, Fuji brought the Silvally, Zeraroa, and then there's some teams that bring like normal, so like just Silvally and Oricorio. Yeah, so it's quite interesting to see like different country players have like different interpretations of the meta.
Yeah, and I think actually the Silvally Rampart was kind of beating Buzzwole Pheromosa, I guess, when they repeated is kind of.
So sorry, which one?
The Dai, he beat like a
Buzzwole. Right. Yeah.
And then what is also interesting is that Solgaleo Shiinotic beat Oricorio Magnezone. It does happen sometimes, but it's also kind of.
Oh yeah, that really rarely happens.
Yeah.
You gotta like do some like put some energy on the Shiinotic and then like think twice, I guess.
Yeah, and if you like, I've beaten like a Shaman version 1 because I had like Cyrus and stuff. I guess it is doable sometimes, or maybe you can like sometimes Sabrina early, depending if they bricked or something, you can like Sabrina a magnet in the back or something. But yeah, that's it for this game, I think. So let's just go on. Okay, so here we have the 10-1 game.
The 10-1.
Castaner did DM me about this game. He said, and I did also interview Storm, and he said he top decked sometimes, and he just top decked sometimes when what he needed, and so you can also make an argument that they didn't repeat the Buzzwole Pheromosa early on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I think probably the Darktina drew really well, but at the same time, like you have to like consider like why didn't they repeat both of the Buzzwoles?
Yeah, makes it.
Oh, no, I mean like the Buzzwole. The second Buzzwole was like the second deck, but you could have probably sent
Yeah.
the Buzzwole first, yeah. And then like if it loses, then just repeat it again. But because like you can't let that Dartina just run
Escape.
away with the game. I mean with the
Yeah.
match. Yes.
Yeah,
Then
so
like at the end, like you just repeat. He just repeats the. I mean they just repeat the Charizard, which wasn't ideal, but like you're only left with your last two players, so like may as well just repeat. But at that point, the repeat was just not as valuable as compared to like using it at the start.
yeah, so you could
Yeah.
say that not using your repeats well is also very important in this format, obviously.
Yeah, especially since like I think this repeat thing it's only started this season, right?
Yeah, so not
Yeah,
everyone.
I mean like for not everyone knows how to like use it properly. For players that Duel Links,
Yeah,
Team
Duel
Wars,
Links.
then we know we know how to use it. But I mean like for the non Yu-Gi-Oh players, might be something new.
Yeah.
So it's always something to consider. Yeah.
So,
But
yeah,
other than that,
there's not really much to
Yeah,
talk
nothing
about
much.
this game.
yeah.
It was really
Did
just.
this Storm guy win the MVP of this week?
We haven't
He
got
probably
any.
did, right?
I think so, but they haven't posted it yet as of the recording, so I don't know. I think they did say they vote now instead of like basing it off points, so I guess we'll have to see later.
I mean, surely he wins the
Yeah.
Player of the Week, right?
Yeah, surely. I mean, I featured him for the interview because 10-1 obviously got a highlight. Though is impressive, right? Even if they repeat it badly. But yeah, let's go. Phoenix double critical, which alright, so this, oh yeah, I guess actually that's for later, but Phoenix was undefeated and double critical was coming off with a win last week, and they did end up beating Phoenix in a close 10-9 game.
And started Dartina won the boss. Oh, they brought the Stoutland Giratina.
Yeah.
Gus Lord. The Soga streaked. Again the Soga Leo beating the Oricorio deck.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that happens sometimes. You do beat the counter. And it was his second deck, so he.
I mean, I don't know. It shouldn't.
Actually,
you have to.
Phoenix also did the same thing. So Galeos from Phoenix also beat the Silvaleo Oricorio.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of weird, right? Because like, especially the Silverly Oricorio version, because like that version plays like double Oricorio compared to the Zero Row version that usually I think only plays one. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to do it, but maybe I don't know. Maybe it's hard to think about what happened like without VODs and everything.
Yeah, I also didn't. I forgot to kind of ask anyone from Phoenix if or double critical if they had any like highlights from the games or something. But yeah, I just can see that it was close. Right.
Yeah. It was very close.
And in terms of like repeat, I think they used the repeats well, obviously, right? You repeat Silvaleo Oricorio into Solgaleo, and then you repeat Solgaleo Shiinotic into Silvaleo Rampardos.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Phoenix was undefeated before this, right?
Yeah, 3-0.
So because they lost and you guys lost, so there's no like undefeated team anymore in the league,
yeah, there's
right?
no undefeated teams left, which I was gonna
go.
No, I was gonna like mention that earlier, but I kind of forgot it was like Team A and Fuji that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes to show how like competitive the league is, I guess. Like I think the skill difference between each team is like very minimal.
Yeah, and I think this meta is also very just back and forth and pretty close.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
So let's just go
but
to.
I mean, I'll take any meta that doesn't involve too much coin flips.
Yeah, makes sense. Not like Eggy. Let's not talk about Eggy though. But instead of talk about
that was a time that I don't wish to recall.
Okay, so we got Mia Stardust Princess versus Splash Gaming. I think there was a VOD for this. I haven't watched this. I don't know what was I doing at this time. I don't know. Can't recall. But Mia Stardust Princess won 10-6, and yeah, I'm just
Hannah doing Hannah things.
Yeah, basically
taking the lead. Yeah,
early lead, and then they did kind of bring it back. I guess it's another Stoutland Giratina, which I feel like this week hasn't really worked out for teams but you know.
Yeah, it
what
was
I'm saying.
like kind of, I think a few of the Master Ball players were playing it, and then like maybe people thought that this was the spice for the week because before before this week 3, I think week 2 was when the Solgaleo deck was being played on the ladder a
Yeah.
bit, and then like people started picking it up. So yeah, didn't work that. I don't think it worked that well for the Stoutland deck this week.
Yeah. So yeah, there's not much to say. I guess it was just
Yeah, but
From-
it's always good to see like people like trying out
Trying.
these
yeah.
new decks in GGB. Yeah.
It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, let's go. I think Italian Psyducks versus Team Question Mark. I think I don't think there's much to talk about. This game, like game wise, I guess there was 2 streams. Obviously, ITP streamed it and Team Question Mark streamed it. So you guys, the ITP stream got cut short because things happened, which I don't want to go too much into because Virus told me not to specifically. Obviously.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there was like there was like internal stuff happening basically
I
mid-war. So yeah.
Damn.
And I guess Giratina
Like,
Dark.
well, what did you have to do to persuade your team that Giratina Dragonite was a good deck to bring?
Yeah, that's and repeat it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Giratina Darkrai.
Yeah, and then
Giratina Dragonite is interesting.
I don't know, man.
then-
And then like on the other side, there's that Alolan Raichu
Coco.
I mean Alolan Raichu. I think it's not as far fetched as Dragonite. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Alolan
I
Raichu is really good against Charizard.
Yeah.
That's you have to give it to him, right?
Yeah, he did beat the Charizard, so you know.
Yeah.
I guess with like the new electric like supporter, you do just give energy to the right Alolan Raichu and then
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
item, right? That's true.
And then I guess we saw early Giratina Darkrai streak. That was his second. Yeah, it was his second deck, so they couldn't repeat. Yeah, because I saw them have like a Buzzwole.
Yeah, and again another Tina start streaking as well, right? And then I guess they didn't have a second Buzzwole. That's
Yeah,
why
makes sense.
the Darktina streaked so much.
Yeah,
But sending Rampardos into the Darktina, probably questionable.
yeah,
Like looking at the decks that were available at the back, you could have probably sent the Charizard instead, or
yeah.
heck, even send the Dragonite or something.
True. Yeah,
which is fair because like actually Dragonite against Darktina isn't that bad, right? Because you only have
Yeah.
like Darktina has like what 4 basics, and then
Yeah.
I mean the HP is high, but if you get lucky, you usually get like one KO per attack depending on their bench. Yeah,
Mhm.
so Rampardos, I think them sending that Rampardos kind of cost them like 2
good point.
to win. Yeah, 2 points. And then they send in the mirror. I mean, of course, I guess it won, but yeah. So I don't know. But like you said, maybe that that mid-war communication issue had something to do with it.
Yeah,
So let's just hope it doesn't happen again this week for them, because I think their standings is kind of okay as well, right?
yeah. They're
I mean the
2-2.
side up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's still pretty early, so they can still come back from the 2-2, and then they get the stuff together.
But yeah, that was really much it. And then like Sovali or Aquario just cleaned, and Team Question Mark won 10-6. But let's go to the next game, which is Third Eye versus Quad Zero. Seraru Goat, I guess.
Yeah. I have to say that we were extremely lucky to have won. I mean, not to have won, but like we were extremely lucky to have won with such an RD, because we hit like 5 heads on Celesteela.
That's crazy.
Yeah. so like, you can imagine the VC be like, every time he hits the head on the Celesteela, be like, whoa, and then yeah. So a bit of luck goes a long way.
Yeah, and you guys beat Charizard twice, which
Yeah. Oh yeah, that Charizard just kind of bricked. Yeah.
Unfortunately. Oh, it's Turtonator, obviously.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And then, yeah, I guess they didn't bring any They didn't bring any Solgaleo, I guess, either.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, not too sure why, but I don't know. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't like it, or like maybe because this is week 3, right? I think week 2 we brought a
Week
few
4.
Charizard
I
decks. Maybe that deterred them from bringing Solgaleo. I don't.
Could be.
Yeah,
But,
and then that last deck being Guzzlord just kind of sealed the deal.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
nothing much to say.
Yeah.
Sass going 0-2 as usual.
True.
I'm kidding.
Well, I remember Saz, he came in like general chat in Pocket Chefs, and he was like, he tried Seraro's list, and he's like, he went 0-11 on heads with Celesteela. So I guess Seraro is just different, you know.
Yeah, I think he's just built different, I guess.
Alright,
Yeah, but nothing much.
Next game we have Hyper Offense versus Froggy X Blue.
Another
Solgaleo.
Tina streak.
Yeah.
And
Arc
then
Nova.
Solgaleo streak as well.
Yeah, but Arc Nova just streaked with 2 decks, I guess.
Damn. Solgaleo beating Charizard again, probably. Oh, but they repeated the Buzzwole, right?
Yeah, versus.
Yeah, they
Team.
repeated the Buzz. Yeah, so they only had 1 repeat left.
Yeah.
I guess they could have repeated on the first Silvally Charizard, because the Guzzlord was not likely gonna win the Solgaleo.
Sure.
So like,
Oh, I see.
I mean, yeah. It also depends on what what's his name? Gold Silver.
Also,
It also depends on what his second deck is, and for you know, it might have been another Guzzlord as well. So that's why, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's in hindsight you can't really tell from here. Maybe it was correct to send in the Charizard Silvally earlier instead of the Guzzlord.
No. I mean, I meant like.
No, I see.
Maybe they could have repeated. Yeah.
His first.
Yeah, maybe
deck
they could have
was-
repeated on the first.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was better to repeat
But-
instead of playing Guzzlord Celesteal. But yeah, Froggy
But
X
who
did.
knows?
But Froggy X did win this, and the VOD is available. I think. I'm pretty sure. I think they usually stream. So yeah, 410. Which is good RD, which is like, because I think, if I remember correct, I think this is in the same division. So obviously this is good for Froggy X Blue standings.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, now we got Power of Chaos versus Smoke on Deck Lab. And this makes Power of Chaos have 2 win streak right now. Yeah, because they did win 10-6. And yeah, matchup wise, like lineup wise, I guess Dark Tina. Dark Tina beating Buzzwole Fermosa again, I guess.
Yeah, it beat it 3 times. Shit, man.
Yeah. Sometimes I guess Dark Tina just streaks. Can we power creep Dark Tina? This is the 3rd set that's like been good.
I mean, I played Dark Tina at the start, but even it gets boring after a while.
Yeah, I got bored. I got bored of it like the first set, the first ranked season we had, because I didn't play for like the whole season. Then I was like, okay, like 2 days left. I went from Pokeball Ultra Ball 4 just playing Dark Tina. So I was like, yeah, I'm done with this deck. Like I literally played like until like almost rank reset. I just gave up after like 6 a.m. I was like, nah, this is too much. And I was like, yeah,
that's
I'm
sad.
good. I'm good off Dark Tina.
I'm good.
But yeah, that was just Dark Tina streaking. Solgaleo Shiinotic also getting 3 wins, beating Oricorio
again.
twice,
Yeah, exactly.
potentially, because Silvally Oricorio and Silvally's Aurora.
But even then, it's like, I really don't know how these Solgaleos are beating the Silvally
Me
Orcreos.
either. Yeah, but I don't know. I guess if it's one Oricorio, I guess it's easier.
Nah, but usually they play 2 though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I
Silvally
guess
Oricorio.
if you maybe they didn't see the Oricorios in time, and then like the Solgaleo got like a really fast Solgaleo.
because
Soga
Shiinotic-
turn 2,
Yeah, Shiinotic does do that sometimes, where you just like curve very fast, and then decks can't really counter it. So yeah, maybe, but it's hard to tell when there's really no VODs and stuff. We need.
I wish there was like a spectator function. Sad,
yeah.
but.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good win for Power of Chaos because they're 2-2 right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Smogon is 2-1 after this, right?
I
Or
I think they're also two.
I mean, 3-1.
Actually,
I don't know.
I think they lost. I don't know. I'll check later because I have this full standings.
Oh,
as well.
okay.
Okay. We got Hispanic Dynasty versus Magma.
Oh, damn that. Yo, so now this is the other way around. That Silvalio Oricorio streaking through 4 Rampardos. Oh my god.
I will have to like. I think there is a vault. I know that IHG does stream. So I do want to see this. I do want to see how Silvalio Oricorio streak.
Bro, if I was Magma, I would be like I'll be like demoralized beyond reasonable fairness. It's like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Oh, they wasted 2 repeats on it as well. Okay.
Yeah, like you wasted you used 2 repeats and you still couldn't get the win. And
Yeah.
I think that matchup is I want to say it's pretty Rampardo's favored,
Yeah.
but wow.
Maybe they didn't find the fossil.
I
but
kinda-
I don't know. I don't think. I think you should have found the fossil in like 4 games. I don't think it's them breaking.
Yeah, I mean, we lost to Magma in week 2, so I was kind of hoping they would win, but happens.
And this wasn't really that close. I mean, 10-4, and I guess it was. So
Yeah, it was like it wasn't even close. It's like, and then and it's like you can see how polarizing the Rampardos deck is, right? Like on one
Yeah.
side you have to repeat it twice and you still can't beat the favorable matchup, whereas on the other team it just mows through everything you throw at
Yeah.
it. Like it just went through like Zero, Solgaleo, Buzzword and everything.
Yeah.
Goes to show how polarizing the deck is. Like the deck, when it draws well, it beats everything, but if it doesn't
Yeah.
draw well, it just yeah.
Yeah. That's always how these Rampardos decks are, though. I guess it's just.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's just the nature of fossil, I guess.
Yeah, even back in the last format with that Lucario Rampardos deck, it was
Yeah.
kind of the same thing, right? That like
Yeah.
Lucario carries you for the early and mid game, and then
Yep.
you just hope to curve into the Rampardos. And back then there
Yeah.
wasn't even rare candy, right?
Yeah.
It was just the normal like Fossil into Cranidos into Rampardos.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's not that much to say about this game. We got Suncloud versus LSP though, which I do have some info, but maybe I don't know if Leo was the correct person to ask because I don't think he really understood. But he just said that Sunclan misplayed a lot. That's all I know. That Sunclan just misplayed a lot. Apparently. And it's another
Yeah,
Silvally
he had
Rampardos.
he had some what do you call it? He was very vocal about
That
how
misplayed.
Sunclan played bad.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I think he talked about it earlier today as well in Chencha in our
Yeah,
server.
but this is interesting. But this report is kind of interesting too, because like Sunclan brought 2 Giratina Arceus, which I don't think is very played very often now.
Oh, I
Right?
see. Yeah, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, they brought 3. They brought 3
Yeah, that's
Giratina
interesting.
Arceus, which is super interesting.
I think if I'm correct, I think it's the like Giratina Arceus with the Zubat.
Yeah, it's the
maybe.
Crobat one.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the Crobat one with the dark energy.
yeah,
So the Crobat kind of helps you answer the Oricorios.
yeah,
And then with the Crobat ping and the Darkrai ping, you can hit up to like 100 and 180
180. Yeah,
Arceus, Darkrai. Yeah, 180.
yeah, 180.
So you can basically like, but it's a
Yeah.
kind of like a solid.
Exodia deck.
I want to say it's kind of like a Exodia / Solitaire deck,
Yeah.
right? You have to, if you see all the pieces, you pretty much win. Yeah, and also they brought Greninja Oricorio, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
another deck that we don't really see now, right?
Yeah,
It was really popular in week 1 and 2, I think, before the,
yeah. Before this new set,
this
obviously.
new set. Yeah,
I think it's matchup wise. I think it still has. I think my team kind of talked about it a bit.
Mhm.
They wanted to look at its matchup spreads because we kind of do have someone that looks at like data for matchups. So
Oh.
we did bring it up. We did bring it up.
Oh, okay. Like that
Yeah,
Reapy, I think. I remember him talking about a lot about stats
Yeah,
the
him and
Gen Chat
Enco.
once.
Yeah, him and Enco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah.
Yeah, but it does make sense though. Like I do think the Greninja Oricorio still has its place, but
Yeah.
but it's so hard against all the Silvally decks now.
Yeah, I think Savali is just
Like
such
I think
a good
like
Oricorio
every
killer.
every deck now you have to ask yourself whenever you're building a deck, you have to go through the Silvally check. Like, does this
Yeah.
deck have a shot against Silvally? If it doesn't, then can you put Silvally into this deck and make it work? If it does, then okay, then you might have something there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see another
But
like
yeah.
streak from Silvally Rampados. I
Yeah.
guess it
Oh.
did kind of get close towards the end, 8-10, but I think Leo just put LSP so far ahead.
True. And with this, I think Sun Clan is 1 and 3.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I would have to double check, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think
speaking,
I remember the 1 and 3.
yeah. Speaking of Greninja though, can we get a new Gren deck, because I pulled 2 shiny Gren, so
Oh. You know, when the set just came out, I didn't pull a single Proki line shiny in my first 100 packs. I was like, I didn't even know that card existed in the set until they told me wait, there's the Gren line. I didn't even pull a single one of them. Yeah.
okay, I think we're on the last game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Daybreak versus my
Daybreak
champions.
versus my champions.
I remember this was in the morning, very early morning for me. And yeah, it was another 9-10, which has kind of been the trend this week, and last week we had a lot of 9-10s.
Yep. I think in general it's just a very tradey format now in the GGB. Yeah.
And then sometimes obviously you streak, which we did see Beastie streak with Buzzwole Celesteela.
Yep.
Yeah.
But wait, so Buzzwole Celesteela is the one with
I think it's one cell. No,
is
it's
the
one of each. I think one card, one.
Oh, okay.
Pheromosa.
So there's a difference, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure what terms you guys use in the report, but I'm assuming the Celesteela one is the one with one Pheromosa, and then if there's 2 Pheromosa, then it'll be just named Buzzwole's Pheromosa.
Yeah, that is. I think that's how
okay.
Limitless does it. And if it's one of each, then it becomes Buzzwole Celesteela. Because I think it looks at what Pokemon you have 2 of, basically.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So Buzzwole Celesteela runs
this,
one of each, I think.
Yeah, but this war was pretty close until the streak by Beastie.
Yeah,
and then
they
the other side they managed to bring it back a bit.
Yeah, I do see it.
Yes,
they
right?
traded the win, right? I see it
Yeah.
Bixie went first, he won, and then Kronz won, and then
Yeah,
back and
it's
forth,
always like
kinda.
a trade until some deck starts to streak.
Yeah, that's kind of been the trend this week, I feel like.
That's true.
Alright, so yeah, that's it for the reports, I guess. Actually, I did ask Dueling if he wanted to give me a breakdown of the game. He left me on. He didn't even open it. He told me, I don't know.
Oh shit.
So whatever.
At least he didn't leave you on read, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's fine. It's just for the content, kinda,
Yeah, that's true. But it's always kind of interesting to be able to get their perspective on the war.
So yeah, obviously we have no undefeated teams left, right?
Yep.
And SPS, because of 10-1, they're first overall right now, and Chefs are second. And then what I wanted to say is I wanted to show the importance of how just one game can be. So week 3, Galactic was 0-3 and they were last place, and one win put them 4 spaces above, basically. From one win they went from last place until they won 4 spaces.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so just even one win is super
it's still early in the season.
Yeah, and then you can see also the red is obviously the same group, right? It's the colors are, and then you see the red is very close. Italian Psyducks are 2-2, Team Question Mark is 2-2, Miastara's Princess is 2-2, Froggy X Blue is 2-2, right? And Phoenix Chefs are 3-1. But yeah, our region is very close and like very like tight.
Yeah, I think in general, like every division is quite close.
Yeah, we got a lot of 2-2s. And then yeah, SunClan is 1 and 3, like you said. But yeah.
I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah, I think they'll bounce back too. They're obviously a very good team. Alright, so obviously as I'm recording this, Smogon and Galactic already played, but yeah, I'm not gonna spoil the result. But this week, I think for me the highlight games are SBS and Team A, because that's they're playing for who is gonna be top of the division.
SBS versus
Team A.
Team A, yeah. Right.
At the bottom. And then another divisional match is ITP versus Froggy X Blue, which is later tonight, and I am gonna stream it. So yeah, but yeah, but both teams are 2-2, so it's very important for their standings basically. And then obviously Phoenix with Champions, I think, is also, you know, two Duel Links teams, right? Going at each other.
Yeah, you're right. They're both from Duel Links as well.
Yeah. So, and then LSP Magma, which I think is also another good game. Both are like, I think, similar records. But yeah, that's kind of it for what games do you think?
Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, what games would you think are like the highlight of this week, pretty much?
Definitely Marcham versus Phoenix and Smogon versus Galactic. Oh yeah, they already played.
Yeah, they already played. So yeah.
Yeah, and then Magma versus LSP is pretty interesting as well, because LSP won the off-season cup, right?
So I
and
think
then SunClan versus Squad Zero.
Yeah, I did kind of forget. Back. Yeah, but I did kind of mention this. Like, I won't repeat, but we SunClan and Squad Zero kind of have their history together, so you know.
Oh really? Why?
Yeah, okay, so basically what Zero, okay, so what Yash said, he wanted it to be like team Froggy X, like Froggy X Blue and Red, and then I don't know, I guess they didn't really like being called like a B team, but it was kind of supposed to be two teams basically, like Froggy X and...
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
So it's kind of...
So there's some like beef.
Yeah, and they have history, so it's kind of, I guess... Hi, that's for the weekly schedule. And hi, I'm here with the Solar Beam Syndicate player Storm. If you wanna introduce yourself.
I am Storm. I'm from SBS.
Okay, so this week, not this week, last week, week 4, you went 10-1 versus SVK team. And how did that happen? How did your games go? How 10-1 is pretty impressive. So I mean, how did that happen?
Okay, before the tournament or before the match, my team was deciding between like two different strategies. One which allowed me to play Giratina Darkrai, and one which didn't. I told my team that I was confident in playing Giratina Darkrai, like based on my own matches, and it was like a deck that I was more comfortable with. So the team, I think, kept on bouncing back and forth between the two strategies, but in the end they decided to go with a strategy which I was better in, like I was more comfortable with, and I guess it paid out well, cause I was confident that Giratina Darkrai had a good chance against every single deck, and it performed that way, I guess, and everything went well. I was lucky when I needed to be lucky. Like sometimes I had to draw a specific card and to bail me out, and I was able to. So luck definitely plays a factor. But I think also like the way my team works together. So when I'm playing the games, I will also look at the group chat, and my team members will be suggesting the best plays to me. So I think like one part that I did well in was consolidating their ideas and evaluating which strategy is the best based on what they say and also my own experiences. I think sometimes that might pose a problem because there might be many different conflicting opinions, but I think I handled that well, and that caused me to be able to sweep with Giratina Darkrai.
Okay, yeah. And yeah, do you think obviously I think what people talked about this game is they didn't repeat Buzzwole. Do you think that also was like a factor, that they didn't like repeat the Buzzwole deck and like use the repeat later?
Yeah, I think that probably was a factor, cause I think that Buzzwole is probably stronger into Giratina Darkrai over Charizard. I believe SVK thought that Charizard was a stronger pick against Giratina Darkrai. I guess that was a slight mistake on their part, but I mean at the end of the day I guess it's a few percentages off, and that played into our ability to win, I guess. Yeah, so I guess that did play a factor.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, as I'm doing this recording and this interview, we don't know if you have gotten Player of the Week yet. For me, you would be the Player of the Week, but I guess they don't always look at record-wise. But yeah, congratulations on the 10-1, and yeah, that was just a few questions I had. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you.